Let me do a quick recap. I have 3 batteries in my solar system. A single 2-year-old trophy battery that is 220 amp hours and 2 elite batteries that are 205 amp hours each, totaling 630 amp hours or about 37.7 kilowatt hours. It's a decent sized battery bank for an off-grid home, and the 2 elite batteries were bought at different times, one in 2021 but the other in late 2021. The trophy battery was added in 2022. They all seem to be getting along just fine. But sometime in September of last year, I just happened to be in the utility room and noticed that all the batteries were charging, but the 2 elite batteries were not displaying the same amount of lights on the state of charge indicator. One was at 83%, the other was at 67% state of charge. But both were charging. I thought it was nothing more than a balancing issue, so I basically ignored it. A week later, I was again in the utility room to get a tool on a cloudy day, and I noticed the lights were once again doing the same thing, but not charging. It was 100% overcast, so it wouldn't be charging. Now it got my attention. So fast forward 5 months. So evidently I had a problem with one of our elite batteries. For my best guess, it was now at about 70 to 75% total capacity compared to the other elite battery, meaning it now was only 145, maybe 150 amp hour battery. Not good, but not life endangering either. Obviously, the battery had 1 or more weak cells in my way of thinking. The other cells are still doing their job. Initially, I thought the batteries would eventually balance, match similar state of charge, and maintain that for the most part, but I was wrong. Each of our batteries acts independent and in charging and discharging, which generally turned out to be a blessing. That's called an open loop system. The elites generally discharge slightly faster than the trophy battery and generally lag when charging, but no problems overall when maintaining a nice amount of power in the bank. Well, until I noticed one elite having that issue. A visit to the solar shop where I bought them, and I was checking for a warranty to make a claim. Problem. The Kami company in China that made the batteries was no longer around and not available to stand behind the warranty. Yep, that's what I get for bargain shopping critical components to our solar system. Yeah, I did know what I was getting into at the time, and money was basically the issue. So here's where I'm at. At that time, I thought the battery bank is now below 600 amp hours. Let's call it maybe an 8% loss of power storage, maybe 10%. And on top of that, a weak battery with no idea for sure how long it would last. The good thing is that each battery is acting independently and doesn't draw down power from the other batteries to maintain the weak battery. I guess it's a combination of the batteries, BMS controllers, and the design of the LifePo4 chemistry, but I still felt I was left with a somewhat bogus battery. Now, the owner of the shop where I bought it originally is also a very good friend of mine, and he felt terrible about the problem, but I was not the only person in this same boat. Other people were also having problems with these elite batteries. However, he couldn't stand 100% behind the warranty without the manufacturer supporting him and standing behind him. So it was unfortunate, but understandable that he couldn't stand behind the warranty 100%. Given that he's a trustworthy person, we came to a deal. He would do a cost-only sale, and for the amount that I would owe him, he would do a trade for something that he wanted that I had and I could live without. So done. But here's where it gets really interesting. So here's how we solve the problem. The 200 amp hour batteries are not cheap as of yet, although the 100 amp hour batteries have come down dramatically. Now $800, maybe $900 up to $1,200. It's all over the place. But I would be the proud recipient of 2 new 100 amp hour LifePo4 batteries. The charge parameters are close enough to match my existing battery, so there won't be really any issue. But wait, you say, these are 100 amp hour batteries, not 200 amp hour batteries, and you think they won't work, but they will. You see, I will place the 2 new batteries together and parallel connect them together, then connect them to my Lynx Victron power-in bus bar unit. My system will then see the two new batteries, more or less, as a single 200 amp hour battery, and each battery's BMS will control the batteries as needed during charge and discharge operations. So now, here's what my new battery bank will look like. So why did I choose the MidNite Solar PowerFlo5 LifePo4 battery? Well, when I started looking for replacement batteries, I came up with a number of features that were important to me. One, they had to be a name brand. I was tired of the cheap China stuff. I wanted to be able to trust the brand of the manufacturer, and they wanted to pick a manufacturer that had a proven track record to make quality products. Also wanted local support. That was number two. Wanted to be able to call someone locally to get help with the batteries if it was needed. Three, I needed a good warranty. No matter how good a battery is, no matter how good the manufacturer is, there's always a possibility that something might go wrong with the battery, and I wanted that to be covered by warranty that means something. Number four, I wanted it well built. I wanted a battery that had quality components, high quality cells, high quality BMS, and protected external terminals. Number five, communication. I wanted the batteries to be able to talk with each other to coordinate their operations. I also wanted the battery bank master battery to be able to talk to my system's computer brain to help with the system efficiencies and also reporting. Number six, price. I wanted to make sure the battery was on the lower end of the retail price scale. However, this wasn't truly the high priority or a real high priority. It was more of a want versus a need. In the design, I wanted a small profile server rack battery, not a wall mount unit, since I had limited space. So that was what I was looking for, and that's what led me to the MidNite Solar PowerFlo5 LifePo4 100 amp hour battery. Remember, I initially was only going to do a trade for two of these batteries, but the more I looked into these batteries, the more I really like them. So I asked my buddy what my price would be for 6 more of these beauties, and he made me an offer and I loved it. It was a special price, and he was being really nice to me. I think part of it was due to the warranty issue. So after some quick calculations, I realized I could sell my existing batteries and some other equipment for the same amount he was asking for the 6 additional batteries. No brainer, done deal. But you remind me that one of my batteries had a problem. Well, no, I was the one with the problem. I did about 30 hours of research and discovered that when connecting different capacity batteries together, it is not unusual for batteries to charge and discharge at different rates for any number of reasons, including things like internal resistance. The key to this was, did the battery bank as a whole have the capacity of all the batteries combined, regardless of any differences in the state of charge indication on any individual battery? So my battery bank was just fine. It was just one battery charged and discharged at a different rate than the other two. So it discharged first and completed charging last, but it was just fine. There was not an issue with the battery. So we made the deal. I paid the money. Looking forward to the new batteries. Now I have to be patient. Oh boy. In the next video, I will go over the install, and boy, is that going to be fun.